This is the theme 3, the impact of medical theory and practice on space. This is a poster entitled A New Project to Santa Casa de Misericórdia in Rio de Janeiro, Hygiene and Rationality. A work done by Renato da Gama-Rosa Costa and Inês El-Jaick Andrade from Casa de Oswaldo Cruz, Cruz, Brazil. This work is part of a research coordinated by Professor Cibele Salvador Miranda, published in 2018 as a book, Classicism in the Hospital of Mercy and Beneficence in the Second Half of the 19th Century, Transit between Brazil and Portugal, in a free translation. Honorable mention of the publication was granted by the National Association of Research and Graduate Studies in Architecture and Urbanism. It was judged to be very good quality work, which contributes to the knowledge and recognition of hospital architecture in Brazil and Portugal during neoclassicism, bringing new content on the topic. As a Brazil political and social pole in the 19th century, Rio de Janeiro faced the urban growth and densification typical of a post-industrial city. At the same time that profound social and structural changes were introduced in cities, it also brought diseases, plagues, and epidemic contagions. The public health actions undertaken sought to reverse the situation of diseases and unhealthy urban environment aggravated by the specific conditions of the city of Rio de Janeiro, due to its hot and humid climate. In the image aside, we can see a table with the dates of the 3 major epidemics in the city of Rio during 19th century. Cholera, yellow fever, and smallpox. Thus, many hospitals were built to provide assistance and care for victims of epidemics and other diseases of the period, as I said. In the image, we can see the city map with other hospitals of the time, where we highlighted the location of Santa Casa Hospital. Santa Casa would stand out from a significant set of hospitals built at the time to attend patients from any social group, slave or free man, aged or colored. This is portrayed in the painting by François René Moreau, Dom Pedro visiting the cholerics in 1867. Here we can see Dom Pedro II visiting the victims of the 1855 cholera epidemic, being treated at the Rio de Janeiro hospital. Most of the victims were slaves. This is an initiative in the context of the charity, which was taking place in the 19th century in the Brazilian society. As an emphasis, we can see images of Mercy, Misericórdia, the feminine figure that assists the privileged under her veil, children, women, disabled. Dating from the middle of the 16th century, the General Hospital of Santa Casa de Misericórdia would receive a new project in 1840 within the scope of the transformations driven by the 19th century and, in this case in particular, by the arrival of the Portuguese court in the then Brazilian capital, which became the headquarters of government Portuguese monarchy. The original Santa Casa General Hospital from 1582 was located near the sea and near the original site where the city was founded just 40 years earlier. Its primitive installations showed infiltrations, leaks, and collapse threats after more than 250 years of functioning. The first hospital was built without planning for enlargement needs, and a new building would be necessary. On the other hand, the new acknowledgements brought by the hygienists reveal its irregular architecture and the problems with the infirmaries, small, humid, without air circulation, and not separation by sex or by disease, as malaria, tuberculosis, or mental diseases, for example. In 1838, the Santa Casa Brotherhood invited the Imperial Academy of Medicine of Rio de Janeiro to elaborate a project for a new hospital that began to be built in 1840. The basis for the construction of a hygienic hospital were established, standing out general orientations such as square form, with one angle pointed to the east and other to the west, free of humidity and plenty of air circulation and insulation. The new hospital would be built in two stages between 1840 and 1852, and with final works in 1865. Even being an example for the occasion, such project would receive criticism because of its location. The first part was composed of 2 blocks and was situated at an old cemetery yard. The new project should adopt, for example, internal patios, large corridors, and high doors and windows near the ceiling, and small vents below the windows to avoid concentration and to facilitate the exit of harmful fumes and addicted gases. To preserve the new patient from the contagious air or for contagion among themselves, some facilities were done in the new infirmary, such as large corridors with tiles made in Holland to facilitate cleaning, faced the Guanabara Bay, or gardens and internal patios to provide fresh air circulation and plenty insulation, which confirmed the architectural principles established in the mid of 19th century. At the same time, Florence Nightingale was recommending infirmaries like this with beds put crosswise the wall and beside each window in her work at La Riboisière Hospital in Paris, and then adopted at Crimea War, and also seen at Rio by the hospital of the time. The project of the new headquarters, designed by José Domingos Monteiro and José Maria Jacinto Rebelo, Portuguese ones, should follow the hygiene and rationality recommendations of the 19th century. Regular architecture, ventilated internal rooms and infirmaries, large wards to facilitate air circulation, internal patios, wards separated by sects and type of disease, especially those that required isolation, as for the hetic, smallpox, and the alienated sick. These additions seem to be motivated by the Emperor Pedro II himself, with the necessity for more infirmaries and an appealing for a most monumental facade, which received an actual entrance marked by a triangular pediment ornated with double Tuscany columns. This solution gave a more formal aspect to the facade, following the rules of an already worldwide recognized classicism. The hospital still functions nowadays, but in a precarious way and in a constant menace. It is located at a now central area of the town, a space of great urban transformations, as we can see is in this photo and in the map before. Thank you for your attention. Please feel welcome to contact us.